Alright. Ban list for the Attribute Festival is out. And there's some cheapish decks available you can definitely grind with. I don't think, I mean, these loners look okay, except I don't know how to play any of these, but I think because it's an attribute lock, everyone should have at least, I feel, one competent deck of each attribute already if they've been playing Master Duel for a decent amount of time. So I'll get into what one for, I guess, sort of each that uses each attribute that we could use for the event. So the first one is Salamangreat. I say this because this is probably the cheapest deck, and like the deck that most everyone will have access to, because all this costs is like 3 structure decks to make this, essentially. There's no access code or anything, so we'll get to the replacement later. Like, this is honestly just a standard salad list. Like, it's literally just salad minus access code. And this is not necessary. Like, this could be literally anything. You can put... I'm running Ghost Mourner because I have 3 of these, so I'm gonna use every opportunity I can to flex this on people. But if you don't, then literally anything works. You can put Chalice, you can put Droplet. I think Droplet's legal. Yeah, Droplets, like Ghost Spell if you want more hand traps. I mean, this is like completely competent. If you want to, also if you haven't played Salad before and you want to like have a quick primer on how to play the deck, I have a combo tutorial that on my channel that I'll link right here. And yeah, it's honestly really standard. So it's the few things in the extra deck that were missing. There's Abyss Dweller, which is I don't think is needed because we're not in a tier meta, and Lingaribo and Access Code. So instead of Lingaribo and the Abyss Dweller, we're just gonna put in double Heatleo. So this is a way to remove back row and play into back row more. And the Access Code replacement, I'm gonna try Amphibious Swarmship Ambler Whale. Now, this is it's not perfect. You know, it's not a Cybers monster, so you can't like go into this if you use Transcode Talker on the same turn. So like, be aware of that. Don't try to use Transcode Talker Revive and summon this. But yeah, this is probably like the best like generic Link 4 left that's like super rare or cheaper. Like basically, if this card is destroyed, you can target a Link 3 or lower monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So literally anything in your grave, you know, like a Heat Soul maybe again. And if one of those Link monsters gets destroyed, you can banish this and destroy a card. So yeah, this is a pretty good monster. It's like filler. You probably won't go into this often. You're not gonna, like, I will say you will not be access code update jamming games. So like games will probably last longer than 2 turns if you play this deck. But that's completely fine because Salamangreat started off as a grind deck, so you're more than capable of just grinding resources of your opponent for a couple turns and then just killing them with advantage instead of damage. Alright, next up we have Marincess. This is actually probably the deck that's closest in power level to like what it just is normally, like in standard outside the event. Because the thing with a Salad does not have access code talker, so that's like a big blow to one of its main strategies, which is just killing your opponent out of nowhere. But Marincess doesn't use access code, or like it can't really use it that well. This extra deck is essentially unchanged from the one that I just normally run with it. And the only nerfs that got into the main deck are like no Veilers, so you know, the Ghost Mourner, but like you just run Droplets or Chalices or whatever you have instead of Ghost Mourner. And we lost 2 blue tank. That's it. So I literally just put in 2 more Mandarin instead of to replace the blue tank, because Mandarin by itself is still a 1-card combo into a Link 4. And I mean, yeah, I barely changed anything for this deck. I put in like 3 desires over the crow because you know, crow is a dark attribute hand trap, but other than that, like this is pretty like if you look at this from a glance, you could literally just think that this is just a normal Marincess list. So yeah, definitely expect to see this in the event, and Marincess is a really cheap deck too. Like out of the entire core, there's a lot of supers, but there's only really 2 ultra rares in it. And Kragan is not necessary. This could be literally anything. These 2 monsters, in rank 4 exceeds, you go into the least often, since like without Toad, now there's not really like a easy way to access rank 4s on your turn 1. So yeah, you don't even really need these. And Coral Triangle is probably the most important one. Like you can honestly like get away without Aqua Arcanaut 2 and just play Bubble Reef Control with hand traps, and it's completely fine for this event. But also, you know, hopefully there's a certain Link monster coming out soon in this game that will make Marincess actually good. So if you want to just invest for Marincess for like the future card pool, you know, it's not going to be a bad deck in the future at all, and it's like very low investment. So yeah. Alright, we did a Reddit. They finally banned Block Dragon in one of these goddamn events. Block Golem's all we got. So, you know, if only they would do it for, you know, standard, but, you know, we'll get that later. So anyway, without Block Dragon, Adamancipator is still completely viable. You have all the necessary engines in your deck. You just don't have the Block Dragon stuff. But you still have Doki Doki, which gets you anything. You still have your 8 tuners legal in this game. You have your Prank Kids engine, which, you know, you can use to go into Apple, or you can use for link climbing, and it's another good excavate. We're actually running Parallel Exceed. I don't know if this is the key or not, but you could start your plays by, if you get negated, you could, such as on your Secret, or wait, not on your Secret, on your like Doki Doki or your Adamancipator Researcher or your Cardorhin. I don't know how to pronounce this card, but like, well, whatever this card is, it gets you an extra normal summon, and it revives itself. Or even with a hand trap, if you brick really badly, you can go into Almirage, trigger Parallel Exceed, go into Gallant Granite, and Granite will search you your Adamancipator Researcher. Hopefully you can get your combo going there. Again, no access code, but this deck going first, its board is like, you still have access to Appaloosa, Abyss Dweller, Changing or Baron the Fleur, plus Dragite. Potentially Raptide as well if, you know, if your hand isn't godly, but... And we got this G Golem Dignify thing that you can make with 2+ Earth monsters. I don't know if this is good or not, to be honest. I think it's more of a meme than anything, but, you know, it works. And obviously, you know, if you've played... Most people have like some form of an Adamancipator deck build. They probably played it, you know, in the the year and a half that this deck has been legal for. So yeah, you can play your Adamancipator deck just fine for this event, pretty much. And even if you don't, it's actually not that expensive at all. To be honest, I already, like, I've never built Adamancipator. I've never played a single bit of Adamancipator, and like, I'm literally just missing one UR, which is Dragite. So like, yeah, it's good pick for an event, not too expensive. Man, imagine if Toad was not banned. This deck would go crazy. And no less shufflers to worry about, no less Ishizus, no tears. Just harass all day, spam rank 4s. I mean, yeah, okay, you don't need it. Honestly, you don't barely go into Zeus anyways. Just know that if you somehow do not have any of the 3 previous decks mentioned, even though they're hella cheap and you can just get them for under like 1,000 gems each, pretty much, you could always like build this deck full of main deck, like barely any supers, just main deck rares and normals mostly, and just really need Kraken, which is from the legacy pack, and most people I think would have should, you know, if they're not super unlucky, they should have at least like a couple Krakens and a couple Kraken spawns if they've been playing for long enough. You know, Nash Knight is nice, but other than that, these other stuff, you just play Kraken control. But yeah, or if you're a Shark enthusiast, you can play the Shark deck. But yeah, this is, I mean, I'm gonna try playing some of this. You know, don't get me wrong, but I'm hesitant about how good this deck actually is. But yeah, the first 3 decks are the decks that I would suggest most people, and I think that are the decks that I think most people will be playing anyways. And this is like my pet deck for the event. You know, if you're crazy like me. Alright, anyways. I don't give a damn about the gem rewards. This is what I'm doing this event for. Moai Interceptor cannons. Best made in the game.